Well, I feel very blessed. I feel very honored, to be counted with this group of inductees. Uh, when I saw the list of the people in the class, I was especially honored to be named and inducted with Coach Frank Landry, because he is my all-time favorite when it comes to pre-game devotionals. I just love these devotionals. I mean, every time he did the pre-game devotional, the other team was in trouble because I was that fired up. I couldn't have asked for a better group, for a better quote-unquote team. There's no sport that didn't support any other. I've seen coaches, or I saw coaches that would get after, who were not basketball coaches, that would get after basketball players if they were horsing around for no reason, if they were, trying to get late to class. I got late to class once, my freshman year, and by the time I got into class, I think it was Dr. Tom's class, somebody had called Coach Meyer. Yeah, hey, it's whether 15 minutes past, Peter's not in class. And by the time I sat down, I was taking notes, one of the coaches showed up to look, see if I was really in class or not. So, to my knowledge, the athletic family worked as a team. Coach Williams would, in his gentle, fatherly, nice way, kick your butt if you did not do what you're supposed to do. So for me, it was a pleasant experience. Soccer mostly, a little bit of handball, very little volleyball. I still can't dig, so it tells you my coordination. But soccer was it. Pretty much every kid on every street, on every corner played soccer. Actually, I was kind of dragged into it. Yes, a friend of mine who also goes by my middle name, we used to live on the same street and we went to the same high school. When we graduated, he was born in London, so he knew about basketball. He ran into me on the streets and he said, "Man, I'm not going to let you waste this height." So he followed me to our house because we had moved from that area. He followed me home, said, "I need to know where you live," and he came back the next day and took me to the National Stadium and he put a basketball in my hand. The rubber, those hard ones that have the rough edge, and that's how I started basketball. I was always encouraged I was very fortunate and very blessed. The first two people that taught me basketball were very good coaches. One of them is Coach Alabi Adelawa. He's also known as the Bobby Knight of Nigerian basketball. But that was before my time. So by the time he got a hold of me, he was mellow. So I didn't catch that intense fire, but you could see that it's always there. But he always would say, dribble the ball up. Don't worry about being a big man, because sometimes they'll cut the head off, so to speak, and bother the point guard, and you have to bring the ball up so your team can have a chance to get into offense. And he began working with me, my left-hand dribble, hook shot, right and left hook shot. I could barely make the right hook shot, but I was beginning to learn the left hook shot. So you can imagine how interesting that picture was. The other person's name is Dr. GNK Vukokwashi. He's a law professor, he's somewhere in South Africa now. And he would take me to his house, and some of the other guys that wanted to go and feed us, Then he put tapes of Hakeem, Kareem, Moses Malone, Patrick Ewing, all those top centers in college and in the pros. And he would walk us through their moves, their footwork, things like that. So he began to put together the foundation for my quote-unquote big man's game. But I wasn't very good. And so sometimes people would want to start playing pickup games before I got there. So he would always pick a team and then sub himself out so I get a chance to play. And he taught me a lesson or shared something with me that really kept me in the game. That's when I began to feel like I could really play this game. It's about perseverance. He said there are 3 stages. The first stage in the game and also in life is when people laugh at you because you are so clumsy, you don't know what you're doing, you're not good, so to speak. The second stage, as you improve, you have to persevere and stay with it. As you improve, people begin to try to intimidate you because you get that occasional steal, you get that occasional block, you score that occasional bucket. You know, you go from, hey, what do I do with this ball to, oh yeah, I got this. And then people begin to try to intimidate you, but you have to stay with it. Once you pass that stage, then people accept you. And that's when you're coming down the street, you're like, yeah, Peter's on my team, or Nick is on my team. I picked him first and things like that. And that lesson really kept me in the game because it was discouraging when, people would see you coming and they want to start a 5-on-3 or 5-on-4 game just so you are not playing because you're a liability, so to speak. I was always taller than all my classmates. I can remember morning assembly in high school and even the graduating class, because we go by forms. Form 5, I could see clear above their head. I mean, I could see clear above the entire school. But I was never really, anti my height. It was there and I just accepted naturally. I never, it was me and I was just comfortable with it. So I would say high school years, probably from like Form 2 to 5 was when I grew. So it would probably be like a freshman high school through senior in high school. In a nutshell, it was God's grace and His answer to prayers. But the longer version began when I got cut from the Nigerian junior national team, I want to say 1990 or 1991, that went to play in Canada. And I was very green, but I was also a hard worker. I was taught that if you work hard, good things will happen to you. For the most part, I'll say yes. But I also learned that there's some politicking, which I had no clue about at that time. But so the team that went to Canada, I got cut from that team. One of the centers on that team, the coaches at Liberty saw. And we were talking to him, trying to recruit him. So the coach of the team that I played for in Nigeria had kind of taken me under his wing. I had access to his house, very wealthy, but he's very relaxed, quote-unquote cool guy. So my teammates would drag me, cajole me, whatever, to go to his house, and then they'll make international calls from there. So this time we went, and I forget which of the coaches asked my friend, hey, do you know any other big man you can recommend? And he said, yes. What I didn't know at that point was, I think the Christmas before, An international college and professional scout had seen me play. Excuse me. And he had written his scouting report, which, by the way, I didn't see it till after I graduated from college. And I think it's good because my head would have gotten big for, because it was a really nice report.
Yeah, what did it say?
He said things along the lines that, his name is, I think, Bill Russell, things along the line that I am ready, I could play on any Division I college, things along those. It was nice for somebody coming from my background. I didn't play basketball in high school at all, So, but, I spoke to the coaches and, they showed interest and when they came to visit, they saw me play and, like they say, the rest is history. I think what happened was that first I'll say God was kind to me because I came from a team where I was quote unquote the man or a force to be reckoned with in Nigeria. But when I got here, the pace of the game is quicker. Things are happening like boom, boom, boom. And so it took me a while to adjust to the style, the pace, the level of competition here. But I was always confident that good things will happen. I'll be okay. I just need to keep improving. The coaches were very helpful and very supportive. Yes, they get after us in practice. But after practice, they love on us, on me, like, I think everybody really, like their own child. So it helped me to distinguish, the coach on the basketball court and the person they coach. The person they coach gave me hope. Even though when I bobbled the ball and Butterfinger, he put me on the line and run me sensible, not senseless. But I knew it wasn't a sadistic kind of a thing. It was I know you can get better, and I will make sure. Yes, I will make sure you get better. I'll be there for you. I was always taught by Dr. Kwashi, they have 5 people on the court. You have 5 people on the court. So the odds are even. Yes, they are a very talented team. Yes, they were ranked really high, number 1, etc. But they only have 5 people on the court. And if you get yourself ready, leave it on the floor. Whatever happens, happens. If they win, they win. If you win, you win. Don't shortchange yourself. And I think that they cut some breaks that forced Coach Meyer to yank me out of the game. Because I got some calls that I still look at them today and I'm like, man. But,
It's tough to get those calls in that situation.
Plus, a player's perspective, you always say, oh, I didn't foul, or, I didn't do anything. So, but the referee seen something different. And their level of expertise, it's like, if they saw a foul, then maybe there was a foul there. But that changed the flow of the game, And, they ran away with it. They are too good, too talented a team to give that kind of a break, So, but it was a good experience. I think Vlade has eyes all over his head.
Why is that?
It's unbelievable, his passing skills. And when I had to guard him, I would always just say, Peter, do your best, but hope he has a rough practice, like a bad show in practice, because that evens the odds out. For Chris Webber, I'd say, just pray you don't go for one of his fakes, because he got me one time, it looked really bad. He faked the ball and I was so intense, I just jumped, like super fly, out of the way. And everybody was like, and I just stood there like, he went to the rim, like Chris Webber does. So I was just like, man. I looked at the coaches like, man, I hope that's not my ticket home. So I'll start with the Liberty molding. I could not have planned for a better experience in America for me. I could not have, the word escapes me, like, played things out and arranged things for a better experience. I love the discipline because I come from a strict family. So I didn't have a problem with the discipline. I think that it probably saved me more than it hurt me. Amongst other things, I learned to tie my tie even in my sleep. So there's a lot of positives from my experience here. The student body was fantastic. When I first got here, people were very helpful. People would, when the air up there came out, I was just telling my friend Philip, I must have seen that movie 50 times. Anybody on campus would, Peter, let's go to the movie. I'll pay for it, don't worry. That's $1, For an international student, $1 is big money because, But the only movie they wanted to take me to see was The Air Up There. And I saw it so much. I enjoyed it, but at some point I was like, man, can we see something else? But it was The Air Up There. But it was fun because it got me away from campus. I had a discussion with Dr. Forwell, the late Dr. Forwell. I'm talking about the molding. There was an incident that he called me and asked why I was not a part of an issue. And I said to him, we have chapel 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have Sunday school, we have church, we have all these programs, we have special speakers on campus. But the young men and women at Liberty still make poor choices. That does not reflect or is not something we're going to blame him, Dr. Forwell, for. Because he's giving us more than ample opportunities to have a foundation to make good choices. But some of us do, some of us don't. What Liberty did for me was it packed me with, let me use the word resources, that enabled me to be able to function even better. My faith got stronger. I learned to develop and maintain stronger relationships. I learned to be more humble, to work harder, to trust God even more. Because sometimes, when you get into that rut in basketball or even in your schoolwork, left, right, roundabout, for me, when I go back to God and say, God, I'm tired of this thing. Here, it's literally like I get lifted out like that, literally. So Liberty did a lot for me, strengthened my faith, reminded me that my source is God. And I tell you that from a very humble point, a very humble place. And, I can't even begin to put it in words. As to Sacramento, I think it was God's leading because it just happened. I went out there to get back in shape after my surgery, not knowing that my knee was done. And the doctors basically told me I can keep playing, but in 2 years I'll be in a wheelchair. Or I can hang up my playing shoes and I may have 25 to 30 years before I have to do total knee replacements. So I took 25 to 30. I figure I could dunk on my kids before they turn 14 and talk any amount of trash I want to talk, because after 14 they get crazy energy anyways. So that's how I ended up in Sacramento. I went back to get in shape. That didn't work. I stayed. I work as a substitute teacher now, and I tell you, it is a rewarding experience, but it is a mightily humbling experience as well. It's every day grounded with God, because those kids will stretch you. But I'm thankful nonetheless, because it's a privilege. When you run into those kids in town 5-6 years down the road, and they say, I was a bad kid, right? But I didn't know any better. But I'm glad you said the things you said, because at some point I could remember them, and this thing saved me from this and this, I cut this friend off, and then he was arrested with drugs and blah, blah, blah. If I hadn't cut him off, I'd be in jail by now, So it's rewarding, but it's humbling.